this again. I'm going to hold the book a little differently so you can see the pictures better maybe. This is a swim. Toad and Frog went down to the river. "What a day for a swim," said Frog. "Yes," said Toad. "I will go behind these rocks and put on my bathing suit." "I don't wear a bathing suit," said Frog. "Well, I do," said Toad. "After I put on my bathing suit, you must not look at me until I get in the water." "Why not?" asked Frog. "Because I look funny in my bathing suit. That is why," said Toad. Frog closed his eyes when Toad came out from behind the rocks. Toad was wearing his bathing suit. "Don't peek," he said. Frog and Toad jumped into the water. They swam all afternoon. Frog swam fast and made big splashes. Toad swam slowly and made smaller splashes. You can see that. A turtle came along the river bank. "Frog, tell that little turtle to go away. I do not want him to see me in my bathing suit when I come out of the water." Frog swam over to the turtle. "Turtle," said Frog, "you will have to go away." "Why should I?" asked the turtle. "Because Toad thinks that he looks funny in his bathing suit, and he does not want you to see him," said Frog. Some lizards were sitting nearby. "Does Toad really look funny in his bathing suit?" they asked. A snake crawled out of the grass. "If Toad looks funny in his bathing suit," said the snake, "then I, for one, want to see him." "We want to see him too," said 2 dragonflies. "Me too," said a field mouse. "I have not seen anything funny in a long time." Frog swam back to Toad. "I'm sorry, Toad," he said. "Everyone wants to see how you will look." "Then I will stay right here until they go away," said Toad. The turtle and the lizards and the snake and the dragonflies and the field mouse all sat on the river bank. They waited for Toad to come out of the water. "Please," said Frog, "please go away." But no one went away. Toad was getting colder and colder. He was beginning to shiver and to sneeze. Achoo! "I will have to come out of the water," said Toad. "I am catching a cold." See him in the water? Toad climbed out of the water. The water dripped out of his bathing suit and down onto its feet. What do you think? Is that a funny looking toad? What do you think the other animals did? The turtle laughed, the lizards laughed, the snake laughed, the field mouse laughed, and Frog laughed. "What are you laughing at, Frog?" said Toad. "I'm laughing at you, Toad," said Frog, "because you do look funny in your bathing suit." "Of course I do," said Toad. Then he picked up his clothes and went home. And that's the end of our story for today. The next story is The Letter. Let's see how well we do that one. All right, and now here's the last chapter of our story, Frog and Toad Are Friends. This one's called The Letter. Toad was sitting on his front porch. Frog came along and said, "What is the matter, Toad? You are looking sad." "Yes," said Toad, "this is my sad time of day. It is the time when I wait for the mail to come. It always makes me very unhappy." "Why is that?" asked Frog. "Because I never get any mail," said Toad. "Not ever?" asked Frog. "No, never," said Toad. "No one has ever sent me a letter. Every day my mailbox is empty. That is why waiting for the mail is a sad time for me." Frog and Toad sat on the porch feeling sad together. Then Frog said, "I have to go home now, Toad. There is something that I must do." Frog hurried home. What do you think he will do? He found a pencil and a piece of paper. He wrote on the paper. He put the paper in an envelope. On the envelope he wrote, "A letter for Toad." Frog ran out of his house. He saw a snail that he knew. "Snail," he said, "please take this letter to Toad's house and put it in his mailbox." "Sure," said the snail, "right away." How right away do you think that snail will be? Then Frog ran back to Toad's house. Toad was in bed taking a nap. "Toad," said Frog, "I think you should get up and wait for the mail some more." "No," said Toad, "I'm tired of waiting for the mail." Frog looked out the window at Toad's mailbox. The snail was not there yet. "Toad," said Frog, "you never know when someone may send you a letter." "No, no," said Toad. "I do not think anyone will ever send me a letter." Excuse me. Frog looked out of the window. The snail was not there yet. "But Toad," said Frog, "someone may send you a letter today." "Don't be silly," said Toad. "No one has ever sent me a letter before, and no one will send me a letter today." Frog looked out the window. The snail was still not there. "Frog, why do you keep looking out of the window?" asked Toad. "Because now I am waiting for the mail," said Frog. "But there will not be any," said Toad. "Oh, yes, there will be," said Frog, "because I have sent you a letter." "You have?" said Toad. "What did you write in the letter?" Frog said, "I wrote, 'Dear Toad, I am glad that you are my very best friend. Your best friend, Frog.'" "Oh," said Toad, "that makes a very good letter." Then Frog and Toad went out onto the front porch to wait for the mail. They sat there feeling happy together. Frog and Toad waited a long time. 4 days later, the snail got to Toad's house and gave him the letter from Frog. Toad was very pleased to have it. And that is the end of our story, The Best of Friends. From writing letters to going swimming, telling stories to finding lost buttons, Frog and Toad are always there for each other, just as best friends should be.